Hello everyone, welcome to Gagan's virtual classroom. Today we'll read the poem The Lake Isle of Innisfree, and this poem is written by W.B. Yeats, and this poem is taken from class 9's NCERT book Beehive. So I will give you a line by line explanation of the poem in simple English. So before we read the poem, let's look at the name of the poem. So the name is The Lake Isle of Innisfree. Isle means island. Lake Isle of Innisfree is a real place near the coast of Ireland. It is a quiet place. It is not inhabited by many. So it is the name of an actual place which is near Ireland, and it is a very peaceful place where not many people live. Yeats wrote this poem when he was living in London. He longed for the beauty and simplicity of the country life. Now, Yeats wrote this poem when he was staying in London, and London is known for its fast-paced, overcrowded and busy city life. It seems the poet had got tired of the hectic city life, so he wanted to escape from it and go to this beautiful and peaceful place called Innisfree to seek solace and lead a simple country life. Now, country life here means village life. This well-known poem explores the poet's longing for the peace and tranquility of Innisfree, a place where he spent a lot of time as a boy. Now in this poem, we'll see that how much the poet longs to, how much he wishes to go to this place. It shows the desperation of the poet that he wants to go to this place. And this is the place where he had spent his childhood. Now this poem is a lyric. What is a lyric? A lyric is a short poem that expresses the writer's personal feelings or emotions. This is a short poem with 3 stanzas. Let's read the first stanza. The Lake Isle of Innisfree. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattle made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. Now let's look at the first line. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree. So now this first line itself shows the desperation of the poet. How much he wants to go to this place. How much he wishes to go to this place. And look at the urgency when he says, I will arise and go now. He says, I will get up and go right away to this place called Innisfree. And what will he do there? And a small cabin built there. I will build a small cabin there. Small cabin means a small house or a hut of clay and wattle made. And he will make this house of clay and wattle. Now what is clay and wattle? If you can see this picture, this framework made by weaving and intertwining twigs or sticks or branches, this is called wattle. And this structure is usually used to make fences and walls in villages. And clay or mud is used to add strength to the structure. So he says that he will make the small cabin using clay and wattle. 9 bean rows will I have there. Then he also says that he will have 9 bean rows. He imagines his garden with exactly 9 rows of beans. He says that he'll grow beans there. Now what are beans? If you can see this picture, this vegetable is called beans. So he says that he will grow beans in his garden, and he imagines that he will have exactly 9 rows of beans. So these rows you can see. So the poet says that he'll have 9 bean rows there and a hive for the honeybee. Now what is a hive? It is the structure that you can see in the picture where the honeybees live and collect honey. Now this is a man-made structure. The poet could be talking about this man-made structure, or he could be referring to this natural structure made by bees themselves to collect honey. So he says that he will have hive for the honeybee and live alone in the bee-loud glade. Now he says he live alone in this glade. Now glade is an open space which is usually a grassy space without any trees, and it is also called meadows or grassland. So he says that he lived there in bee-loud glade. Bee-loud means because see there'll be so many bees, so he would hear the buzzing of the bees. Now let's listen to the sound of the buzzing of the bees. So he says that he live in such a place and listen to the buzzing of the bees. So in this stanza, the poet says that he'll go to this place called Innisfree, and there what all he'll do? He'll make a small cabin of clay and wattle. He'll have 9 bean rows, and he'll also have a hive for the honeybee. Now let's read the next stanza. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening's full of linnet's wings. So the poet says that I shall have some peace there, that he will find some peace at this place. And from where will it come? The peace will come dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning. Now it will come from the vales. What is vales? Now in this picture you can see this girl wearing a veil. Veil is a piece of cloth worn by women to cover or hide their face from men. In India, you must have seen women in villages usually wearing veils to hide their face. And in a wedding also the brides wear veil. And in Western countries, a bride wears a white colored dress and she wears a veil to cover her face. Now the poet is referring to this veil, this white veil, and comparing it to the veils of the morning. Now what do you think could be the nature's veil? Now if you look at this picture and this also, you can see the fog, the mist here, white in color, and when the rays pass through it, it becomes very hazy and unclear. The view is obstructed. We cannot see across. So this is also like a veil of the nature. So the poet says that through the veil, the peace comes from the veil of the mornings, as if the peace comes dropping from up above, from the heaven to the earth, to where the cricket sings. Now what is a cricket? This insect which looks like a grasshopper is called a cricket. Now this cricket is usually found under the tall grass, at the roots of the grass, or under the leaves. So the poet, when he says that the peace comes dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings, so it means that there is peace everywhere, right? Or it could also mean, because cricket, it usually sings in the evenings. You can hear the sound in the evening. So the poet could also mean that the peace stays throughout the day there, from morning when there is mist, from morning till evening when the cricket sings. Throughout the day there is peace in this place. Now we'll also listen to the voice, to the sound that the cricket makes. I'm sure you all must have heard this sound in the evenings. So this is the sound of the cricket. Then the poet says, there midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow. Now he says that the night is all glimmer. Glimmer means sparkling, shiny. So how could the night shine? Now this place is not inhabited and there are no high-rise or tall buildings. So you can get a very clear view of the sky, unlike in the cities where you don't get to see the sky because of the tall buildings. And also because this place is not there are no vehicles, so there is no pollution, so you can see clear sky and the stars also. And when the star-studded sky reflects in the water of the lake, we can imagine how much the night must glow. So this is why the night in Innisfree glows. So it is very shiny. And noon a purple glow. And he says that the afternoon has a purple glow. So you can see the beauty of this place. And evenings full of linnet's wings. He says at this place the evenings are full of linnet's wings. So all times of the day are beautiful. In the mornings also, the midnight also, noon, evening, all the places all the time of the day he has described, and he says that this place is beautiful throughout the day and peaceful throughout the day. Now he says in the evenings it is full of linnet's wings. Now what is a linnet? This bird here, this brown in color bird, this is called linnet. And he says the evenings are full of linnet's wings means in the evenings when the birds, they go back to their houses, they go in flock together. So this is Why the evenings are full of linnets' wings? Because the sky is covered by linnets. These birds, when they fly, it looks like the sky is full of their wings. So look at the imagery that the poet has created. We can imagine the place in our minds. Now let's read the last stanza. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep heart score. Now here there is a repetition in this line. This line has been repeated in the poem because the poet again says that I will get up and go now. I will right away go to this place for always night and day. That means here he wants to say that constantly he hears the sound of the lake water lapping. So night and day here means that every time throughout the day, the same thing goes on in his mind, and that is that he keeps hearing the lake water lapping. Now in this picture you can see the waves here. So this is the lapping of the water. And I'm sure you can imagine the sound of the water when it laps. Now let's listen to the sound. So now it is very peaceful sound. It gives us a lot of peace when we listen to this sound. So the poet says that he always hears this sound in his mind. Also the poet has used alliteration in this line. Now it is a poetic device when same sound occurs in the beginning of the words that are closely connected, or that are the words that are written together. For example, here in this line, lake water lapping with low sounds. The l sound it has been repeated here. Usually in tongue twisters, this technique is used when the words begin with the same sound, the words that are written together and they begin with the same sound. For example, you must have heard this tongue twister, Betty bought some butter, but the butter was bitter, so Betty bought some better butter to make the bitter butter better. Now there's a repetition of b sound here. So similarly in this line, the l sound has been repeated. So this is an example of alliteration. Now in the next line, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. Now the poet says that I hear the lake water lapping even when I stand on the roadway or on pavement's grey. Now what is a pavement? You can see this grey area, this footpath. It is meant for the pedestrians to walk. So this you can usually see in a city or towns where there are lots of vehicles moving, and we need to provide separate place for pedestrians, for people who walk on foot. For them we need to provide a separate walking path. So this is called pavement. So the poet says that he can hear the lake water lapping even while he is standing on a roadway or on a pavement grey. Now grey because it is cemented. So this is usually in a city that we get to see a pavement. So we know that the poet is in a city. So you can see the contrast between the city life and this Innisfree. This place, this peaceful place is so much different to this populated area. So he says when he stands on the roadway or on pavement grey, he can hear the lake water lapping, and I hear it in the deep heart score. That means that he can always in his heart, all he can hear is the lake water lapping. That means he has a strong desire to be at this place called Innisfree. Even though he's living a life in a city, but he constantly dreams to be at that place, that Innisfree, because he wants to get peace. He's seeking peace. So he wants to be at that beautiful, peaceful place. I hope you understood the poem. To listen to the explanation in Hindi, click on the link given in the description box below. And if you have any suggestion or doubt related to the topic, do mention in the comment section below. Thank you.